Okay, guys. So before I start, anyone, any query, any questions so far?
No.
Everyone all good?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So yeah, if you guys remember, where were we on the architecture level, right? So just
Yes.
let's do a quick recap and then we will proceed further. So can one of you help me to understand who will have access of the DB layer, for example? The second last DB layer, this one.
Servicenow,
Perfect, great.
DB layer and the database both will be Servicenow. People will have the access to.
Perfect, great. Yes, you're correct. Servicenow will have access of that particular layer. Now, when we have covered that, let's move towards key applications. When I say the key application, what I'm trying to make you understand over here is that what are the major applications which mostly the customer use. It's not limited to this, but yeah, obviously to begin with, to just start with from somewhere, yeah, we can use this as a reference there. Okay, so let's do that. So first thing first is the incident application. Now let's start. Now, whenever I'm saying that it is incident application, what does it look like? Incident application is nothing but, when I say incident means, when will you create an incident means when an interruption in the services. So if I show you the next slide, let's see over here what we are saying. We are saying incident means something has stopped working, right? It needs to be fixed immediately. So what does that mean? So it means, let's say, for example, as I was giving you an example, let's say my laptop is crashed, or maybe certain software or whatever is not working as expected or whatever. So in such particular case, what will we do? In such case, we will be going ahead and we will be reporting an incident. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So let's give an example over here that, or I'll put it this way rather, who in the company, guys, let's say if all of us, we work for the same company, who all within the company should be able to report an incident? Should it be everyone? Should it be technician? How do you visualize that?
Service desk analyst.
Okay, one is service desk. Who else? Like any
I
other?
guess everybody and all the employees in the company can report in.
Report, yeah.
So do you also agree on that, Suma, that everyone in the company should
Correct.
be allowed
Would
to
be
create an
able.
incident? Why?
Correct.
Because anyone can face issue, right?
Right.
So that's why incident is an application in the tool which doesn't have any role level condition. Okay. Now, what I want you to start with is, guys, I feel that, okay, at least that's the way of our teaching is, we will be going ahead through these key application, understanding each and every field of it, each and every life cycle of it, for you to get an idea or get comfortable first with the process of the tool, and then obviously we will dig in to through the technical, through the admin or whatever. So as you can see, I'm there in your demo. Let's see how will I create an incident. So I'll type incident in here. I want to create a new. So there are multiple different ways I want you of creating an incident. I want you to go under incident header, this option. So as you can see, I scrolled down, right? I'll repeat the process again. Click on all, type incident, scroll down. Under incident, click on this option, which is create new. Let's do that. Now, let's start with the first field. So as you can see, it is number and it is auto-populating, right? What could be the benefit out of it? Like when I'm saying, okay, it gets auto-populated, what will benefit it gives you? Anyone?
It's a running sequence number which system we can maintain, I guess. You don't need to worry about it.
It is a sequential number. And why are we auto-populating? What work or benefit are we getting there?
it is tagged to that particular incident, so that if the ticket is routed to any other different support groups, so that would be helpful to.
It's basically a unique identifier to identify
Perfect. A
the
unique identifier we are
incident.
giving
Okay.
there. Correct, you are. So that, let's say, for example, right now, if you see for me, the number is 1, 3 zeros and 4. If a sequence is being maintained, we know, okay, no other ticket will have the same number. So in that case, let's say I pick up this ticket which I have created, suppose, and I reach out to you as a technician. If we know that, okay, number is going to be unique, it's not a shared record. So when you reach out to the technician, he knows, okay, you are giving this incident number. Okay, so this is the issue you are referring to, right? So to easily identify the issue, which issue the end user or technician is talking about, it's always better to have a uniqueness there. Do you guys agree to that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can do duplicates, no? You have to use the uniqueness. Either you input or a system generates. It has to be unique.
I didn't get you, has it? Can you please repeat your question?
No. What I'm saying is when you're creating a new instance, it has to be unique. Either you system generates a number or you enter a number. It has to be unique in the system. No? Like we cannot
Correct.
duplicate a number. Yeah, I mean,
Correct.
it won't allow, I guess. And also, is this number is organization level, like uniqueness across a?
Yeah, it is. Because see, this way, every company will have their unique URL, right? Like, let's say, again, if I work for a ABC company, my instance will be maybe abc.servicenow.com. Yours is, let's say, maybe Apple. So it will be apple.servicenow.com or whatever, right? So every company will have their own dedicated URL. So obviously the numbering and every configuration is company specific in that given URL. The companies don't share the URL, I can put it that way.
Okay.
So that's that. Now, the next thing in here. If you see, not only we are auto-populating the number, but we are even starting it with what? We are even starting over here in this case with your INC to let the people know that, okay, it is the incident ticket number. So tomorrow when I give you the ticket, let's say start with INC, yeah, you can easily predict, okay, it is starting with INC, it is the incident data. So that's that. That's the point. Now, the next thing. The next thing in here is your caller. We need to understand who the caller is going to be. So let me give you, guys, I'm muting you. Unmute yourself if you have any query. So let's start with the caller over here. So if you guys see over here in this case, first thing first, if you notice the caller, it has a star mark before it, the red color star mark. So we have to understand these and remember these concepts in the tool. So if you see the star mark before the field, it means that particular field is mandatory. And that is, we must fill in the data in that particular field. Now the question arises, okay, how will I do the data selection here? So to select the data, if you see over here, let me first try typing in the data. So let's say I go over here and I try Suma and I click outside. Can you notice over here, guys, the moment I typed in her name, it is giving me error, which means what? Which means it doesn't look like a string field. What is the purpose? Then we need to understand that surely then in this particular case, it doesn't look like a string field. Can I put that way, guys? You guys agree?
Yes.
Doesn't need to get defaulted. Like, I mean, normally, if it system knows who you are, it should default.
Like it could be the case. I'll give you one scenario why we are not auto-populating. Let's say if I am the help desk agent. So if I am the help desk, that time I'm not creating the ticket for myself, right?
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah.
to be on the safer side, we are saying, okay, let's do one thing. That is, we are going ahead and we will let the people choose the caller. So one thing again for you to relate and remember, guys, is that at any given point in time, your caller field, as you can see, is surely not a regular string field. So then what type of field it is? Let's try to understand the behavior. So first thing first, if you see, to talk about the technical term there, what type of field it is. The type of field for caller is, it is a reference field. The English is written here, so that's why I'm highlighting. Any field. So how do I differentiate? Okay, how do we know it is a reference? Because always remember, if a field is having a magnifying glass next to it, such type of fields are called what? Such type of fields are called as your reference field. I would say make note of it, guys. So what is a reference field? Reference field means nothing but it is a field having magnifying glass next to it. Okay, now the next thing. The next thing which we need to understand over here in this case is that how do we select the data in this reference field? So I'll remove the information typed here and click on this magnifying glass. So easily remember, magnifying glass, it is a reference. And how will I choose? I'll click on it. And can you see on click of it, it is giving me a pop-up window where right now in this example, it is showing me record from what? It is showing me record from your user table. Okay. So at any given point in time, what we need to understand over here in this case is, we need to understand over here in this particular one up that at any given point in time, if it is a reference, right now in this example, yeah, it is putting the data from caller, and whichever is your user impacted, you can now search. For the time being, let's say is this user, then I'll just click on it. Can you see the moment I clicked on it, it gets populated here. Right? So that's that. So always remember what? Always remember that if a field is a reference, first you have to pull the data from certain other table. In this case, in the caller, we can see it is putting the data from user table, but that is not necessary that it will always remain the same.
I mean, can it be entered or it has to be selected only?
I'll show you that. So what happens is, if I show you one option in here is, if I go over here, let's say, suppose I want to type in some user. So when I type in, it gives you suggestion based on the typed keyword, as you can see, right? So then you can go over here and make your desired selection. Like let's say I wanted to select Apple Tutor, okay, I can choose it. But as you can see, a regular string, when I gave Suma's name, in my user table, I don't have a date, I don't have a record with that name. So that's why that gave me error. Does that make sense till here?
Yes.
No, perfect. Now, the next thing in here is category, subcategory. Before I go to these two fields, answer me one question, guys. Let's say I'm an end user who is facing current XYZ issue. Is it necessary for me to know which team will fix my issue?
Nope, not necessarily.
Even that is, if I know, obviously it is good that if I know that, but we cannot force the end user, right? Like, for example, let's say I joined the company yesterday only. So obviously then in that case, I don't know the org structure, right?
Right.
So that's why if you see over here in this case, we are saying, okay, many companies do that. They, instead of making the assignment group, that is the team who will work on the ticket, instead of making this mandatory, rather, they try to make these mandatory. Does that make sense?
Sorry, Saloni, I have a question again.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what is the difference, like category and subcategory and then the assignment group?
Okay. So assignment group means, again, I'll show you that, but just to give you right now the basic, assignment group means which team will fix your issue.
Correct. Is it which either hardware related or software? Yeah. Okay, that's clear. So
Now,
why this category and subcategory is mandatory, or maybe most
that's
organizations?
Just one second. So now, as I said, like if suppose a person is new to the company, if suppose he doesn't know, okay, so and so issue, which person or which team can help him to fix, to resolve, it becomes little overwhelming for him to understand, okay, where should I go, who should I contact and whatnot, right? So in such
Okay.
case, what becomes better is we are saying, okay, rather, because let's say I'm an end user, okay, I reported issue, I'm not filling these, neither I'm filling these. And then I created a vague ticket, I didn't give proper info. So obviously the assignment group cannot be decided, right? If I give a proper category, subcategory, like for example, just let me give you one example. I think it will be easy that. So let's say just 1 minute and then you will get the answer. So let's say guys, we are saying to the caller, okay, we are going to make this category, subcategory mandatory for you, which means he must specify which kind of issue is he facing, correct? So let's say I say over here, okay, it's hardware related. And when you select the category, you will notice guys, subcategory, sorry, subcategory options are associated with a given category. So see right now in subcategory, these are coming, right? If I
Got it.
change
Yeah.
the category, let's say to software, you see the options are changing. That is, subcategory field, I can make a statement is dependent on the category. Do you guys agree to that?
Yes.
So that's that. So what we need to understand is right now, let's say I make it hardware. Maybe let's say I say, okay, this keyboard issue. So now when the caller has at least given this info, what happens is in every company, there will be a support desk, guys. Support desk, service desk, whatever the terminology the company uses. What will be their job is they will go ahead to every incident which is unassigned, which means every incident that has assignment group empty, it will be their job to read such incident. And then based on the info which you have given here, they will have maybe a sheet or detail or training or whatever. They will have a info that, okay, this combination should be assigned to so-and-so group. But obviously, if you're not even filling these, then it's not necessary for the service desk to relate, okay, which team the issue should be assigned to, right? So we are saying generally in the company that, okay, if you don't want to make assignment group mandatory, yeah, it is okay. But at least make category, subcategory mandatory so that if user is not giving the assignment group, like in my case, then we will have support desk agent read these field values and do the assignment of the ticket accordingly. Does that make sense to everyone? Are we able to relate, guys? Yes,
Yeah.
no?
Yes, Saloni.
Okay, perfect. Now, let's go a step further and talk about these three. First thing first, what is the data type of these? What does it look like?
It's the reference field.
Perfect. It is a reference as we see a magnifying.
Magnifying. Yeah.
Now, let's talk about these three fields in here. Service is the first one, service offering, as well as the last one is your configuration item. Let's see your service first. So what happens? Think it this way. Let's say we work for ABC company or whatever company, and today, if we don't store the details of what today, if we don't store the details of what all product the company has in some way, like what Servicenow is saying, actually, I'll keep it simple. Let's say Servicenow says, okay, I'm giving the companies a storage place, a place where they can go ahead and they can store the product details, the asset details of the company. The table or in Servicenow, everything is table driven, guys. Like if you see over here, for incident, you have incident table, right? If you will see user, like if I show you here, see for user, we have user table, so on and so forth, right? So in Servicenow, everything is how they have structured is for every application, for every configuration or whatever you say that, they have a table in Servicenow. Servicenow is always table driven approach kind of thing they work on. So Servicenow says to the company that, okay, I'm creating a table called configuration item. The term is here. which I'm referring to. Servicenow says, okay, I'm giving or configuring a table out of the box called configuration item where the companies can store their asset details. What does that mean? So let's say, very simple example. Let's say the company has maybe 10 laptop or maybe 2 networks, certain softwares, whatever. And let's say a laptop is allocated to me. And suppose I resigned. What the company needs to know? They need to know what all devices were allocated, what all product or offerings were allocated to me for them to collect it back from me when required. So Servicenow says, okay, I'm giving you a table called configuration item where you can store these offerings detail. Plus there you can even store that, okay, this offering we are allocating to this user, the other offering we are allocating to that user, so on and so forth. Does that make sense till here?
Yes.
So what we need to understand over here in this case is that we need to understand over here in this one that this field in here will store asset detail. Okay, then what are these fields? Now, for that, let's take an example. Let's say your laptop is broken. So Servicenow is saying, okay, we are, for the assets, we are creating different categorization. Like here, as you saw, when you selected a category, this was subcategory was based on the category. So likewise over here, when you are selecting an offering, for reaching out that offering, for it to be specific asset information getting displayed so that you choose or that you report the issue on that, we are saying, let's have the classification this way, the hierarchy this way. In the service, let's say, for example, for me, the service could be laptop. Offering could be Apple laptop, let's say. And then in the configuration, the specific Mac, which is allocated to me, that specific product allocated to me will be my configuration item. Does that make sense? So service offering, configuration item, they are interrelated. And finally, in the configuration item, you are saying which specific product is having the issue.
Sorry, Saloni, to understand better, like, so the service would be like, I'll correlate to an example. Service would be like, let's take a laptop, and then the service offering, like which brand it is, and then the configuration item is the asset number.
Correct.
Okay.
Perfect. So right now in the demo, guys, I'll not have much data to show you these two. So I'm skipping these two because, as I said, like if I choose something just to show you, let's say I said this. So for that service, if I go to the offering, as you can see, we don't have offering because right now in demo, they have not built that interdependency or whatever. So I'll keep it simple for the time being. I'm directly jumping to the configuration item. But as I said, these are interdependent. So based on this selected, this one should get populated, and based on this selected, CI should get populated, as in the list should get shrinked or whatever. So I'll just select some random laptop or whatever. You can see over here in the configuration item, that is the asset table. The name of the product is there, manufacturer type and blah, blah, blah. It even stores the name of the person who is using that particular product.
Saloni, one question, does it need to depend
Yeah.
on this data? Like it has dependencies, not there, between three types? I mean, you're showing everything here, but should be based on what you picked in earlier columns, no? Earlier data.
Yeah, I agree. It should be picked up on that. So what the configuration here is that
yeah, should be based on the first two.
Yeah, it is.
Filtered on that.
Because
Okay.
I was not getting the data here, so purposefully I left it empty. I didn't select some dummy data. In that case, how the qualifier in this case is, it will show you all the data. It will not apply any filter. If this above
So does it validate that combination has to be there when you
in
hit
company
submit?
level, it does. It does. It is demo right now, so we are okay with breaking that.
Okay.
So that's that. Okay, proceeding further. The next thing in here is now, when I come up over here, I'm just selecting one product. Let's say this. So many a time, even in the configuration item table itself, as I said, this is, if you see over here, what do I mean by that table is, it is pulling the data from that table, right? Many a time in the configuration item table itself, we will even have that, okay, this particular product will be fixed by so-and-so group. You can even configure it that way. Okay, so you can go in there and you can say that, okay, for example, I wanted to show you this. I'll just click on this. What is this we will talk about? But over here in this case, actually, right now this is assigned to, but assignment group or support group fields will also be available in the configuration item. So that's what that is. Are we good till here? So always remember, either we are saying, okay, as I said earlier, sorry, that it depends on company to company, how do they vision it, right? So for example, one way could be that, okay, based on the selected CI means configuration item. I'm using the shortcut for that. C for configuration, I for item, CI. Based on the CI, you may have in the data itself, in the CI configuration itself, the support group. When if it is there, it would have auto-populated the group for you. Or if it is not getting auto-populated, and if the end user is also not auto-populating it, then, as I said, the service desk agent, they will be responsible or accountable for filling in the value there. So that's that. Now, the next thing. The next thing in here is, let's go on the right-hand side and talk about channel. In the channel, we are giving what is the mode of communication. That is, what is the way through which people are going to create the ticket. So as you can see, there are different ways out over here. One is chat. So you would have heard that on many portals, you see a chat icon will be there. You click on it, and through that, the tickets will get created and stuff. So that is one of the option. Another is email. So all these, how these are created, we will cover about the inbound and all those stuff there. It will make sense. But just right now, I want you to understand those options in here. Email, you have phone, you have self-service means nothing but on your own you are creating it. Walk-in is you walk into the person, to the technician, and they create it for you. Virtual agent is again a capability in the tool. Again, through that also the ticket could be created. Right now, I'll keep it, let's say, self-service. That is, I'm saying, okay, I am myself creating the issue or the incident for me. So I'll put it that way. State will talk about the life cycle of the incident, like what all phases it will go through and what not. So I'll talk about state, but not right now. I want to hold it for a minute. Now, jumping further, I'll skip these two and directly go to this first. Can anyone of you help me in understanding the meaning of what is priority, guys? What is the meaning of priority?
Maybe like if this incident affects multiple people, then that's a priority service, priority we need to address.
So let's say, for example, the question this way. Let's say I have 2 tickets allocated to me.
Okay.
One with priority 1, one with priority 2. So which one will you work first?
Priority 1. So basically, it determines which incidents needs to be worked first, and then based on the urgency level.
Right. So can I say if multiple tickets allocated to you? Correct. You said that if it is a ticket with priority 1 and another ticket with priority 2, always we have to work for priority 1s first.
Yeah.
Everyone on the same page? So priority 1 means nothing but it means the critical most, right?
Okay.
So that's that.
Sorry, Saloni, maybe I'm not clear here. So priority, like let's take, I'm also a support desk, help desk agent. And let's take Kranti and Satya as well. Like if we are working and then if we receive multiple, like if I work on one incident and then Satya might work on another, Kranti work on another. So how do this populates this priority?
That's
Is it
what I'm,
automatically?
that's what I'm going to. Just give me 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Now, so as I said, guys, it is all about criticality. So if suppose one ticket is allocated to you as a technician with priority 1 and with priority 2, your point will be always to first pick up the priority 1 ticket. But if you see over here, the priority is grayed out. That is, if I show you over here, guys, like while creating the incident, see over here, when I'm clicking on it, I'm not able to change the priority. It looks like what it looks like. This is a calculated field here, right? That's why I'm not able to edit it. So how is the calculation working for that? Let's talk a bit about that. So I'll go over here. Let's say, suppose I change my impact. See priority changing. Can you notice that? Likewise, urgency. It changes that as well. So can you notice over here that based on the impact and urgency change, the priority is getting auto-calculated. Now, first question over here, why is it getting auto-calculated? Why we are not making priority editable? So the thought over there is, guys, that if we make it editable, what if people end up creating every ticket as a priority 1? Then obviously it will not be the correct process, right? So that's why, to be on a safer side, what we are saying is, that's why to be on a safer side, we are saying that let's do one thing, let's create a ticket, but let's not make the priority editable, because see this way, let's say if my laptop is broken, the company can still manage. But let's say if the company's CEO laptop is broken, we cannot manage with that, right? So which means the same issue will have different impact for different people, right? So that's why we are saying that, okay, if the thought there is, what if I make priority directly editable and everyone, for every issue of them, they start making it what? They start making it a priority 1, then obviously that is a problem. So what will be better? So that's why it is always better that if we make the priority a calculated field. And let's say, even if it is a calculated field, what if people start going ahead and they start filling in wrong values? So that's why, let's say, for example, right now it is not editable. I'm an end user. I make this combination to fit in priority 1 critical. So if I do that time, always remember that a technician is allowed to decrease or increase the priority based on the criticality of the ticket. So if I'm the technician, I do understand how much will it be impacting and whatnot. So in that case, people can go ahead and they can make the needful changes and whatnot.
Sorry, Saloni, to interrupt here.
No.
So this impact and urgency, definitely it's subjective. It is based on the service desk analyst or the support agent, and it might differ, person to person. And as you said, if I select high and critical, and then the other person would select medium, low, something, whichever it is, that table, right? And the priority is calculated based on that because it's a calculated fee. So do we have any set definitions for this impact and urgency, or is it anything that the support agents need to be aware that before they pick the high, medium, low, like how we have in the risk table, if we have the probability of high or the score ratings of the risk table, is it something descriptions
I
for
got you. You're talking about the calculation part of it.
Correct.
No, it is not there. It's not.
So it is subjective.
It is subjective. That is valid. But as I said, let's say, suppose you created a ticket with lesser priority and you feel, no, it is not the right thing. It needs to be changed. So you're always allowed to do that.
So I can change it.
Yeah, you can change. Okay, so that's that.
But you might create with higher priority, but it can be reduced by somebody else.
It can even be reduced. But it has to be reduced by technician, right?
So I don't see any reason or something anywhere here. There's no reason, why it should be higher or whatever. So
No, so
for
but
them to understand, how will they understand, what it should be? I mean, as a user, as a customer, I always want it to be critical, but somebody who is going to work on it, or who is going to see all these tickets, monitor them, they would need some kind of, I don't know how they will determine which one to prioritize.
so as I said, like just for example, I'll give you an example with Servicenow. Okay, so many times we do, when you work for ABC company, you do create tickets with Servicenow company, right? When you need Servicenow's company support. Let's say over there also, I thought, no, I need it urgently, so I'll better make it a priority one. When you make it a priority one ticket, ServiceNow will always review it. When I say ServiceNow, the agents, the technicians, and they feel that, okay, no, this issue is not that critical. The question which they have to ask, the question which the end user or a technician, anyone who is filling the impact urgency, they have to ask is, can we live without that? Or is it like for example, let's say today if incident application is completely crashed, what it is a priority one. You cannot live without it, right? But let's say if a person specific certain issue is blocked, is it causing, like as I was giving the example, if the person is a CEO, no, you have to get it again, a P1. But if I'm a technician and in my department there are 10 technicians, so even I do agree that you have to fix it, so your P2 and a P3 will go there. But surely it is not a P1, right? Because you as an individual, you have your peer who can cover up for you till that issue is fixed. So that's how the priorities decide. So let's say end user, like in this case, end user, he played around with these two and he ended up priority one. So always at a later stage, technician will decrease the priority. And also just one pointer here. Also what we do on a safer side is we try to make one and one this combination only for certain scope people and certain role and stuff like that. So like let's say end user tries to do that, we will give them the pop-up that, okay, you are trying to move it to priority one, maybe so and so documents or reference points are there that, okay, they have to read about it and they have to see, does it fit in that kind of criticality and stuff. And accordingly, if they still feel that, no, it has to go to P1, yeah, you can do that. And as I said, as a technician, you say, no, it's not that critical. Companies can live without it. You can always go ahead, put the proper justification and then decrease the priority. So that's how that works. Does that make sense? Yes, no?
Yeah, sure.
Now, the next field in here is assignment group. As I said, assignment group is nothing but which team will be fixing your issue. But right now in this one, I don't want to populate the group. So let's leave it empty. And let's proceed further and try to submit the record. So before I do that, assignment group, we know that, okay, the group, what will be assigned to, guys?
The support group, like, is it hardware?
I mean,
or
it will be
software?
individual. It will be individual who will work on it. Ticket.
So can I say that assignment group is the team who will work on the issue and the
Right.
person in specific who will fix the issue is your assigned to. Right, so that's that. So I'm in this situation, I don't want to populate any of those. We want to proceed further because I want to show you a situation where end user doesn't know that info. So in that case, obviously he will not fill in the detail and go further with it. So let's do that. Let's leave it empty. Again, what you can see, short description is a mandatory. How do I know it is mandatory, guys?
The red asterisk.
Perfect. The red asterisk over here is helping me understand that, okay, it is a mandatory field. I must fill in the data. So I'll go over here in this one and let me put in, suppose, keyboard. So I was saying maybe keyboard not working or whatever, like you will give a single and an elaboration of the issue, as you can see over here in this case. Now the next thing. In the description, what will you do? So short description is the single liner, which obviously opposite of that is the description, which is the multi-liner. So in the description, you will give the multi-line description of your issue, what exactly the issue is all about. Right, so that detail we are going to give it in the description, like replication step, do X, do Y, or whatever is what the end user will be providing there for people to pick it up, his issue, to fix the issue or understand the issue better. It is always better that end user gives the proper steps of replication. So let's say the end user has even done that. So once done with it, what will be the next step? The next step will be the ticket submission. So let's now go over here in this case, and till with this much information till this here, I want to submit the record. Let's do that. Before I go further, anyone any question till what we have covered?
Absolutely good.
Everyone? Yes, no?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Now, can you see over here, when I submitted the record, it is taking me to the screen in here. On the screen, if you notice, it is showing me the list of incidents created. So what is it doing? On the screen in here, when I see the list of incidents, I have to pick up again my ticket because we still have to talk about that further. So I'll go over here. And let's say this is our issue, right? So I'll click on it back. Now, on this incident, what will be the next step? Anyone? Any guesses on that?
Assignment group. Assigned
Okay.
to-
The first step
Related search
is
result.
filling the assignment group, right? So as I talked about, being a technician, a service desk person, he will read these 5 set of fields and he will have pre-information, maybe in a document or whatever way it is shared with him. He will have a information that, okay, this combination should get assigned to this group. So he or she will read these field values and populate the correct group here. Again, what type of field is assignment group? Guys.
Sorry, Saloni. Before we go.
It's a reference field. It's a reference.
Yeah, Suma, you have some question?
Yeah, I have a question, Saloni. So we are doing this step before, right? Before even we submit that incident ticket, if we know the group we are doing, or if I call, like the channel is if I call the service desk support, and then if they do the ticket filling, then obviously the assignment group would be picked. Just in case if this is done by self-service, and that's how we are picking the right group. Service desk analyst is picking the right group.
Correct.
I didn't get this.
So yeah, you're correct on that. That is obviously if the
Okay.
service desk would have created the ticket for me, then they
Okay.
would, at the time of creation only, they would have populated the group. But if
Right
you
group,
see
right?
this
Okay.
example, I'm taking self-service, which means end user
Okay.
himself has created the ticket.
Got it. Yeah.
So in that case, because he is an end user, what if he doesn't know the department?
Right.
So right now the step which I'm showing, which is populating the assignment group, will in that case will be done by the support desk, service desk, right? Service desk will open up all the unassigned ticket which has assignment group empty. Only the assignment group, guys, mind you, I'm just using that term, assignment group in specific I'm using. So they will pick it up the ticket and pick up those records whose assignment group is empty and populate the correct assignment group then.
Group. Okay.
So that's what that is about.
Sorry,
Okay.
Satya, I interrupted. Sorry,
No,
Satya.
that's totally fine. So now we will go over here in this case, guys, and let's populate that value. So we will go over here in this one and the group. Let's say I'll just put hardware, for example, because I've selected hardware. So I just want to make it associated for you to easily relate. So if you see, I'm saying, okay, this combination should be assigned to the hardware group. I want to draw your attention over here, guys. The moment I'm populating the group, can you see the state has always been new. It has never changed. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this and I'm going to update. When we do that, now if I open the ticket again, does it change the state? No, it doesn't, right?
No.
So what does it look like? It looks like that Now we need to understand how will the state life cycle work over here. How are they connected over here? So let's talk about that. So always remember the state will only change for the first time when assigned 2 is populated. Like for example, in this case, when your assignment group is populated, we are only specifying which team has to work on. But like a ticket like this, do you agree that no one is working on the ticket right now? Why? Because we have not assigned it to a specific person, allocated the work to a specific person for him to be responsible or accountable. We must do that for it to get allocated to the correct person, and only then the state of the ticket will change to in progress to let the people know that, okay, this so and so person is going to work on the ticket. Is that making sense?
Yes, sir.
So that is what we need to understand. Assigned to, when you populate the assigned to, rather I'll put it this way, then your state will change to in progress to let the people know that now when it is in progress now, so and so people are going to work on that. So that's that. Now the next step. The next step which we need to understand over here in this case is what is when we are in here, I want to right now populate the assignment group. So see, group is hardware. I click on assign to, it is showing me how many users, see 7 users, right? If I go here back to it, let's say I just want to show you something over here, guys. Let's say I make it some other group. Then if I click on it, it shows you, for example, in this one, 5 users. So what does it look like? Any idea?
I mean, these are the people who can work on the hardware. Yes.
So which means, can I put it this way, that it looks like these are the people who are part of the given group. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Sorry, who are the part of?
That particular group?
Yeah.
So over here in this case, what we are putting is, over here in this case, we are trying to define that assigned to always will show you what? Assigned to always will show you the person in the given group. So certain XYZ group is there, who all are the members in that group, assigned to will only show you that. Okay, so that's that. So again, let's say I make it back to hardware. So assigned to is also pulling the data from user. If you see over here, it is pulling the data from user only. But assigned to is only showing you those users which are part of the given group. So that's that. Yeah. So I'll go over here. Let me select one of the person over here to make him or her accountable. And that's where we will end the session then. And I'll update. So now when I update at this time, now when you'll open the ticket, you will notice the state has automatically changed from new to in progress. That is, as I was saying, now it has changed to in progress to let the people know that, okay, now this person is responsible for fixing the issue. Anyone, any query?
Again, Saloni, I have a question.
Yeah.
So as a service desk agent, so as a support help person, if I have 7 different users, how I will be able to pick a particular person? How do I know that I don't know his
So service
workload,
desk
right?
service desk will not populate assigned to. Assignment group members will pick up the assignment.
Oh,
Service desk
they
will
will pick.
only populate
Okay.
the group.
Okay, got it.
The group knows which person in the group has the bandwidth. Support desk cannot know that.
Absolutely. Awesome. Got it.
So I'll end it up here. That's it for the day. Guys, the next session for people in US is on your Sunday evening, right? which is that is IST Monday morning. So can we join only on that day at IST 8 a.m.? Will that work? That is an hour late. Your Sunday evening I'm referring to if you are in US. India IST 8 a.m. I'm saying. So I'm
Yeah.
saying Sunday 9:30 for sure.
That's fine.
Okay, only on Sunday. Otherwise, we will have the regular timing.
Sure.
Okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
tomorrow and day after there's no session, so we'll catch up on your Sunday evening and then we'll continue.
So,
Thank
so a couple of questions, right? So you shared the training topics, right? So you have like day one, day two, and all that stuff. So this class is considered as day one or day two, like.
You will see over there these key application. I don't remember day one or day two, but yeah, you will see the topics there. So it
Yeah.
may be like across the training also, you may say that, okay, the topic written on day two has been done on day three or whatever. So there could be sequence here and there, but yeah, our agenda to give you that content is that those contents are what we are saying we'll deliver.
Okay.
Okay, so that's that. Okay.
Just also wanted to know a few details about the certification thing.
And can I take it on your Sunday evening? Today is Republic Day, so I have to take my son to school.
Yes,
So
yeah.
yeah, I'll surely take your question the first thing on our Sunday evening class. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Saloni, can we message in the group
Yeah, that you can
if
do.
we have any
So
questions?
that I can
Okay.
reply. Yeah. That you can.
Okay, for sure. Okay then.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Kranti.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Satya.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, good night. Bye-bye.